Whew!
ShinRobjira.
Today we're going to be talking about the Playmates Monsterverse Battle Roar Mechagodzilla. Monsterverse release number 3, finally, Battle Roar Mechagodzilla. 21 Tin Can gets his roaring gimmick on in an albeit a bit of a boring shell of a body as we've seen this before, but enough about little nitpicks, let's get started. Doctor, if you will.
Ah, and there we are. Time for another snipping. Now this old ideal snipping box right here. We have true snip, true snip, true snip. None of old false snip with terrible little ties in there. A true snip too. And one final true snip. Hi, ready? Let's get... Oh! Ho, ho. I won't miss a snip or two. A snip? I got a final snip. Let's only get the mechanized lizard out of box, yes. And tail, and that won't enough snip out of me today. I see you next time.
Alrighty, we have ourselves another Mechagodzilla figure from Playmates. Let's put his butt on and then we can get started. Now I imagine this is going to be as simple as it was on the 6-inch figure, so let's just... there we go. Pretty simple, a bit harder than usual. Giggity. As per usual, here's the box, pretty much the exact same thing we saw with City of Destruction Godzilla and Ferocious Kong, just in, I guess, a bit of a bigger box with different stuff on the back. That's it. Alright, paint and detail time. First off, let's go with paint. Just like the 11-inch figure, we're going to get some of that reddish-orange paint over here on his chest, and we're going to be getting red gloops for the eyes on both sides. And for the most part, that's pretty much it when it comes to paint. Everything else was pretty much molded that way. Paint, as minimal as it is going to get a solid star because it's not like it's bad paint. I just wish that there was just a bit more to this guy. Yeah, the differing gray plastic is nice, so he doesn't look like an exact carbon copy of the 11-inch figure, but that's exactly what he is. He's just a sized-down version of the 11-inch figure. Would have been nice to get some blue streaks on the arms over here. Same for the legs. Maybe just a bit of a darker dry brushing on the body and such, just so that Battle Roar Mechagodzilla can look like he's, I don't know, going through a battle. Visually, this is a really bland-looking figure. That's all I'm trying to say here, and that is just a nitpick. Detail-wise, most of those magnificent details on the 11-inch figure are going to see a return here. Still just very much impressed of the amount of detail that Playmates squeezed into this figure. Though I do feel the head and the face kinda took a bit of a hit. Well, at least from the front. There's still a lot of crisp and awesome looking details on the side of this guy's face. Each side of this guy's face. Heck, even on the top of his head. Yeah, it's just the front that looks just a wee bit off. That might be just a nitpick too. Everything else that's shown off on the figure does look good. On the inside of the hands, on the chest and torso, leading into Tin Can's Tin Can over here, on the thighs, knees, shins, and feet, and even on the sides of those thighs, knees, shins, and feet. Heck, even on the tail over here. The details are nice. Still very much loving how we have that mechanical rib cage on either side of Mechagodzilla's sides over here. Still very much loving the details on these minute little missile launchers on Mechagodzilla's back. I do very much wish that these dorsal fins had the silver on the sides of them like the 11-inch figure. Because yes, the beat and vibrant red dorsal fins do look nice. It's just a bummer that the 11-inch figure is the only one with properly accurate dorsal fins, at least on one side of them. I don't know what it is. It's just if you're going to end up reusing the giant Mechagodzilla mold, why not just bring back that silver painting for the dorsal fins? That looked really nice. But enough about that, as we are done talking about paint. Still magnificent detail on every point of the arms. Yes, even on the inside of the arms, albeit they're a little bit more bland than the rest, but hey, no complaints here. The details on the ankles and feet moving into the shin are rather nice, though everything does get a bit on the bland side with the inside of the thigh. But everything on the backs of the legs is still rather exceptional. Credit, credit, credit. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I still really do appreciate that Playmates kept the detail on the bottom of Mechagodzilla's tail. It's like, that's not even an important detail to have, but I'm glad they kept it because it just looks really, really nice. Same for the tip of the tail over here. Yes, it's very malleable and rubber, but I'm surprised at just how much they were able to keep up on this thing. Very cool. Big surprise, detail's going to get a solid star. I mean, the thing looks fantastic. It really does, especially for a budget kid's toy. Now, since this is indeed a Battle Roar figure, of course the guy's gonna roar. So how do you make him roar? Turning the figure to the back, you can see one of his little missile launchers back here is slightly protruding. That's because this is a clever, yet not all that clever, but still somewhat clever button that you have to press. You press it, and... that is one hell of a crunchy sound gimmick. It sounds so good. The sound design for Mechagodzilla and Godzilla vs. Kong is a major strong suit, but just the fact that all of that crunch and that was just like shoved into this figure is awesome. But no, it's not just one roar, it's two. I friggin' love it. I've been pressing that button a bajillion times since this thing came in the mail, and infinite enjoyment, truly. Not to fall back on detail speak, but the inside of his mouth is detailed, both on the bottom jaw and on the roof of his mouth. That is entirely my bad. I completely forgot to look on the inside of his mouth as I was doing the whole detailed portion. I just didn't want to spoil the sound gimmick earlier on in the video. Even though the sound gimmick doesn't go off when you pull his mouth open, so... stupidity on Rob's part. Sound gimmick is gonna get a solid friggin' star because, man... oh, so good. Now let's move on over to articulation, and I hope you weren't expecting much. The tail is, of course, on a ball joint, but all you're really going to get is a swivel, as bending it down or even bending it up really doesn't yield any kind of results. Like the 11-inch figure, I'm pretty sure all of this can go entirely all the way around, but I'm not going to be pushing it too far because I don't want to break the dang thing. Yes, the 11-inch version of the figure is the superior Playmates Mechagodzilla, but when it comes to articulation, it really does fault and lack when compared to the 6-inch version. And of course, we're going to get a swivel at the ankle on both sides. Yet again, this is going to be a soft rubber to allow the feet to glide underneath it without any issues, except for that. And the arms will be able to go down as far back as you have the legs, so I do not doubt that these can go all the way around. But yet again, I just don't want to push it. I really don't. I don't feel comfortable in pushing it, especially with the button being behind this arm. Yet again, these little shoulder pads are a nice rubbery material so you can get the arms nice and high. Don't recommend pushing them though, as I do not trust an attachment that looks like this. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about the screw holes. It's an electronic figure. It's practically something to expect at this point. The articulation, while minimal, just like the paint, is gonna get a solid star. I'm glad it was included on multiple fronts, but I still do wish there was a little bit more with this thing. I want to do a little something here. It's nothing too big, but I just wanted to show off the differences between now all of the Playmates Monsterverse Mechagodzilla figures that we have. So obviously, here is our new boy. He's a smaller version of the 11-inch mold, but that's not the only thing here, because right here is the 6-inch Mechagodzilla, and I think you can already tell what I'm kind of getting at here. This guy is fairly darker with the base plastic that was used as compared to this guy. But I will say, Battle MG is definitely the more extreme in terms of base color, and Giant Mechagodzilla feels a little bit darker than the 6-inch Mechagodzilla, but still not as dark as the base plastic that was used for Battle Roar Mechagodzilla. Now you might be asking, Rob, why in the heck are you saying this? Why in the heck are you showing this? To be honest, I'm a very boring person, and when I lined all these figures up together and saw that they were all different colors, I thought that was kind of cool. So, appreciate it, Playmates. Well, like I said, I'm a boring person, and I find this interesting for whatever friggin' reason. Super bright, not as bright, definitely not as bright, the night sky. Like, it's just a cool thing to me. Don't ask me why. Wouldn't be able to explain it to you. It just is. I like that. And for anybody who's even in a tiny bit of disbelief that this is just the 11-inch mold size down, I mean, do I really need to do that much convincing? They look exactly the same. Sure, some things are different, but the articulation and amount of detail that is present on old Battle Roar boy over here is just a solid giveaway. I do wish his hands were movable though, like this guy's were, but hey, you take what you can get. And that's pretty much that. That's all I can really say about this figure. It's a nice figure and I do recommend it, absolutely, but I don't think people need to go above and beyond and pay weird eBay prices or anything like that just to nab one of these. Granted, that's what I did, but I only paid like 25 bucks, and honestly, this sound gimmick alone is worth it. I mean, that's friggin' awesome. I'm never going to get over that roar. Size comparison time, small, medium, large, related. Personally, I feel the sound gimmick really saves this figure on a baseline, for me at least. Like other Mechagodzillas, the details are exuberant and fresh, but part of me just wishes Playmates did something a little more with this guy. Shinier paint, maybe something a tad bit more out of the box. But as a figure with a gimmick, it's perfectly fine and it accomplishes that flawlessly. But anyway, comment in the comment section down below, let me know if you like this figure. Will you be picking this figure up? Do you wish that they did a little bit more with it? Because I certainly do, as I've said a multitude of times during this video. And that's it. I'm done. End of the video. I will hopefully be seeing you all on Friday for finally my review of the SH Monster Arts Godzilla Ultima. So until then, have a lovely day, have a lovely night, afternoon, have a lovely week, and yeah, one more time. Whew! That's some good shit.